Okay, folks, so I am doing this more for myself than for the YouTube community or whatever this ends up after, maybe YouTube. But anyway, um, doing this mainly for myself. I have recently wanted to start building retro gaming computers. Again, I've done it in the past, and I own like a Commodore VIC-20s and some other computers that I'm working on. You can see down here I've got some old flooded machines that I'm going to try to restore. Anyway, so I've got this computer here that I'm going to turn into a Windows XP era gaming computer. So early 2000s, somewhere in there. This is a Dell XP400, and it actually came with Windows XP Media Center Edition, and that's the product key. I don't care if you got it. Microsoft doesn't care either. So this is the service tag information for this machine, and you can see this machine is incredibly dirty. I picked this from a gentleman who was moving out of the country, and his dad had a workshop where he was doing a lot of computer repair and things like that. And this computer was in that storage area. And so he didn't want it. He said I could have it. I actually went to go get a couple of Commodore VIC-20s. And I actually brought this computer back, as well as this computer, which is a Dell 9150, I believe. Let me look. I'm sorry, E510. It is an E510. Basically the same model as this one. This is a Pentium 4. He had a Pentium D up there, and even though it's faster, I didn't want it. I wanted this to be as close to the XP era as possible without getting into something like the architectural differences between the 4, the D, and then the Core 2, the Duos right after that. So I just didn't want to deal with all that stuff. So anyway, I'm going to turn this into a retro computer. And as you can see, I've got some work ahead of me. I do have some old parts that I'm going to put in it. I have not decided which video card, sound cards, all that. I will max it out with 4 gigs of RAM. But anyway, again, this journey is mainly for me, not for anyone else. I just want to document my progress along the way. I have actually already opened this machine up and tried to do a little bit of work, just cleaning it out. But as you can see, I have not cleaned up the outside or got the dust out. In fact, one of the pieces on the inside, because this plastic is already 20 years old, it cracked and busted off whenever I tried to manipulate it. This was one of the odd designs that Dell chose back in the day, where the ventilation would come through here, almost like a tunnel design, so that the air would come in from both sides, and then it would cool off the processor, creating a tunnel through the back. Pentium 4s are known for being very warm, very hot, so we're going to see how this build goes. And again, because this journey is just for me, I'm not too worried about how the camera angles are, or the audio quality, or the video quality, or anything like that. This is mainly just for my own personal journey. If you get something out of this, great. If you get some sort of entertainment out of it, great. If not, that's okay too. I'm not looking for likes and follows or subscribers. So, if you're watching this and you want to comment, please comment. I'm always interested to see what other people think. I have looked up on YouTube, and I've also looked at some other people that have played with the XPS 400s. It seems like most of the people, and I'm not saying all, but a lot of the people that were trying to look at these machines were completely clueless as to what this machine was, what it was capable of. They were trying to compare it to modern technology. You simply can't compare it to modern technology. So anyway, my first steps are going to be to get this computer apart. And again, you're going to see a lot of breaks in this video, because I'm not using any sort of tripod. I'm not using any sort of like GoPro body cam or anything like that. So this is just going to be me cutting and clipping and putting everything together. And so we'll see how that works, because I'm just in my little shop over here doing some work on it. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is get this case open so we can see the inside, and I'll be right back with that. Okay, so I got the case open, and I'm hoping, by the way, I have an air conditioner up here, so I don't know if that is going to be causing a lot of audio interference. I hope it doesn't, but anyway, we'll see. So to get this side panel off right here, there's a little handle right here that you pull, and that's what allows this thing to just drop this way, lay flat, and you know it can be separated, and then you can get to the inside components. Now keep in mind, as I said, I've already removed some of the components in here. I did notice, I think there's a couple of more RAM modules that I need to get out. I thought I had only got one or both of them out, but there's apparently 4 in there, so I'm going to put 4 1 gig sticks, and this does take DDR2, so I'll be putting some of that in there. This is the power supply, and I think this is a 375 watt, and it also does have, no, what's odd is it has a 6-pin connector, power connector. I think that's a 6. I have to look this up. It's been a little while since I've had to deal with these, but it looks like a 6, but it looks like it's missing the 6th one, so maybe that's just a 5-pin connector. Because the video card that I plan on putting in here, I think the one I want to use requires a 6-pin power connector. So I may have to use a Molex adapters or something. I'm not real sure how I want to go there. I do have a couple of video cards, depending on which models that I use. Some of them require extra power, some of them don't. But regardless, I think this power supply will do. It currently has 2 CD-ROM drives in it. It looks like both of them are rewritable. One is a CD rewritable, and the other is a DVD rewritable. I don't know that I want to keep both drives in there. It just doesn't make much sense to me to have both drives. I don't know that I'll be doing that type of like work, copying files back and forth. So I don't know what advantageous that would be. I don't know what I would put in that drive bay if I took it out. So we'll just have to wait and see. Currently it does have a media center card reader that I'm going to leave in there. And then it has an empty drive bay there. And I thought about putting a 3.5-inch floppy drive in that drive bay. All right, so had a cut there I had to do because I had someone interrupt me. You know, and as I was talking to this person, I happened to look down, and it looks like I have a 6-pin connector right there. So that may be what I need to do. It is fastened in here, so I may have to like route that up if I can manage to get it loose. But anyway, this is the little plastic piece that I broke off because it's supposed to let this piece swing out so you can put cards and everything in there, and then that broke. This is the little bracer, I guess, to hold up the fan assembly of the P4. And you can see here, again, this is the tunnel system I was talking about. There's a fan right there, and it's supposed to pull air this way across the processor and then blow it out the back. Now, I may try to put a case fan right here, mount one. I know it's not built for it, but mount a case fan so that it actually pulls the air as well as pushing it from that one so it actually creates a vortex through there. I haven't decided yet. Again, this is going to be a progress along the way. My first step right now is just getting this thing cleaned out, because you can see how nasty and disgusting it is. There is dust and debris. I'm debating on whether or not to take the heatsink off of the processor and replace the thermal paste. I know it probably needs to be done, but I'll be honest, I really don't want to have to fight with that. So I don't know. I will also say that, again, I've got that other machine sitting over there. So if for some reason along the way I get this machine too hot and I burn out that chip, then I've got a replacement one that I can drop in it and just do it correct. So I don't know. If I see performance issues, I'll put some hardware testing software on there And if for some reason it looks like it's running really, really hot all the time, then I may do that. Again, I have not decided what other hardware I'm putting in here. I know that I'm probably going to put some SSDs instead of mechanical hard drives. That is another fan, it looks like right there. Anyway, some mechanical hard drives. I've also been told that sometimes these caps can go bad. Oh, and look, I have a friend wanting to come visit. This is Toothless. Yes, we know Toothless. Okay, she's going to be nosy. All right, so anyway, so my first step is going to be to blow this thing out. So I'm going to go turn on my air compressor and get this thing cleaned out, and then I'll be back. But this is part one, stage one, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. See you in a little bit after I clean it out. Okay, well, change of plans. I really wanted to clean that fan right there in the front, even though it's really not as bad as I thought it was. I really wanted to clean it, and I also wanted to clean these out, and they're really not that bad either now that I look at it. But in order to get that off to clean it, you literally have to pull this thing off. So I was like, you know what? Okay, we'll do it. And it also gives me a chance to inspect the capacitors. I don't see any bad caps, but of course, you know, could be different. So I wanted to clean this front fan out that's down here as well. And oh, hey, there's the battery. And then, so I'm just documenting this. So I got that fan out. I'm still trying to figure out how to get this one out. Like it's loose, but I just can't figure it out. So anyway, just giving you a progress update. This slid back this way and then slid back, and then that little piece right there has to unclip. And all this is so that I can get this 6-pin power connector pulled out and wrapped. Because see, you can see it goes all the way up and then up and around, and then it comes out up here. And so I need to be able to get to that. So give you another update. Still haven't even cleaned it out yet. Okay, so I got it mostly stripped down. You can see I got all the components out. I figured, and that was a 2 gig stick that was over there, by the way. Got the battery out. Finally got all the cables loose. They were routed all along down here, underneath here, which I get it. They were trying to create a tunnel, and they don't want any of the wires in the way that would effectively block that air that's going through there. And I might try to reroute those cables for this down there again, because I've got two SATA connections down here, so I may try for 2 drive bays. But I'm going to be putting I don't actually have the plastic drive bay inserts. There may be some in that machine. I don't know if they fit, but I'm going to be putting standard SSDs, so there's not going to be any movements. So honestly, it's okay if they're literally just sitting in that spot. And so that's what I may end up doing, or I may just route the cables this way and then just having them sit here, as long as it doesn't interfere with anything that's in there. But anyway, I got that loose. You can see I'm going to have to clean that up really good. Got the memory stick out of there. It was a 2 gig stick, as I mentioned. And so anyway, yeah, about to blow it all out, clean all the components up, and then begin to do reassembly, and then just hope and pray this thing even works, because I haven't even tried to turn it on yet. So anyway, we'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. It's cleaned out. You can see it's already partially assembled. Got the fan back in, fan shroud, the heat sink. Got that cleaned up. I'm hoping that it's going to be okay, because what happened was the Dell had put so much that silver compound on there that it just bled out everywhere around. I mean, you can still see there's a little of that silver stuff like on me. It's on various components. I've tried getting most of it off, and I had to use a compressed air to get it. And right now I don't even have a CMOS battery in there, but I had to get compressed air in there and everything, just trying to get all of it out. I accidentally dropped a microfiber cloth on the pin set, on the pin pad, and so when I pulled it up, it looked like maybe a couple of the pins had gotten bent. I tried to put them back as best as I could. I hope it's going to be okay. I've also got 4 sticks of 1 gig DDR. It's different branded. One of them's Kingston, I think one's Crucial. Some I can't remember what they are now. I've got just an old video card in there. I don't know what that is. I think that's the one that came with it. But I've got the fans put in place. I'm about to hook up some power and some video. Actually, I think I'm going to go grab a CMOS battery and put in. That is I checked the one that came with it, and that is a 2032. Yeah, CR2032. I think I've got a spare, so I'm going to grab a spare and then try that. But you can see the little arm that goes up here broke off from here to here. That broke off. This little plastic piece that holds this in place broke off. All this 20-year-old plastic is just so cheap. And so I'm just hoping that was also the arm that kind of held this up. So I don't think it'll be a big deal. There's 2 screws that hold it into the chassis, so I think it'll be fine. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm going to pause this, put that CMOS battery in, and then we'll pick up from there. Okay, I'm back. I've got a new battery in there, and you can see there's actually some silver stuff on the side of that thing too. Anyway, so that's in there now. Also, I noticed something was clanking around inside of here. There was a little fuse, and I just it dropped out. I don't know that this thing even is supposed to have little tiny fuses. I don't know where it would have came from. I did not see a place for a tiny fuse, so we will see. But we're about to power this thing up. Let me pause, let me cook all the cables up, and then I'll turn this back on. All right, I've got the power cable connected. I've got the video cable connected. As soon as I plugged in the power cable, I got a green light, which tells me that the power supply is running. Still nothing on the display though. Let me switch this to VGA. There we go, PC. All right, so we are going to press the power button and see what happens. Well, that's not good. I have no power whatsoever. There's no switches on here. All right, let me do some troubleshooting and we'll be back. Okay, change of plans. I have switched over to a different computer. This is the E510. For some reason, that machine would not turn on. It would not power on. I don't know if it was because of that glass fuse that fell out somewhere. I don't know where that would have gone. I don't see a place on it. To my knowledge, these things don't even have that. I will say this, that this is the same chipset. If I'm not mistaken, it's the exact same setup. I'm going to have to start over and clean this one out, clean it up. If I decide to use this one, the only real difference is the motherboard is slightly different, right? It's still 4 gigs. It does have a different, show you, it does have a different layout as far as the expansion slots. So it has a mini PCI, PCI 16. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like it's missing 1, 2. So it's missing those 2 right there. Yep. But this one doesn't have. That's a bummer. I was only planning on using that one PCI 16 anyway for the video card, so it shouldn't matter. 4 gigs of RAM, the processor's the same. I just realized, okay, there's air blowing through. I was gonna say I didn't feel any air. It doesn't have as much cooling. This power supply is not big enough for what I wanted to do because it doesn't have that P4. I'm gonna check to see if that is the same mounts. I don't think that it is actually. I'm looking at it. So that's 4, 4. No, they're spread apart too differently. Man, I don't know. I'm gonna have to measure it and see. I'm gonna see if I can't swap out the power supplies. That's a 375, and I think this is a 305. 305 up there. And I really need that 6-pin power connector. So, yeah, disappointing, needless to say, but I'm going to check and see. So we'll go from here. It also does have 2 SATA. Let me look. I can't remember where they're at, if it's got them. But I thought it had 2 SATA ports on here. The other one had 4. Yeah, there they are. There's 1, 2. Yeah, because they're already in use. So that's good. And that's really all I needed. The other one had 4, and I could have used 4. But yeah, that's such is life, I suppose. So this also says previous fan failure. There's air, but you can see how dirty that thing is. It is disgusting. So it's probably then not moving much air. Anyway, so we'll see. I would still like to be able to get the other one up and running, but yeah, that's disappointing. Very disappointing. Okay. I will be back later. Okay, I've moved on to plan B. The XPS simply would not boot. I suspect there is a problem with the motherboard somewhere again. All right, sorry, had another interruption, and now the air compressor is on. So yeah, I had to switch over to the other one. It just would not boot up, so I'm using the E510. Got some ideas with it. It's actually going up now. It's booting up. Trying to decide how I want to move forward with this. I've got the upgraded power supply in it. So this is now the 375 watt power supply. Yeah, so working on that. Not sure what I'm doing from here. I'm about to put in a video card. The video card that I've chosen to put in is this NVIDIA 8800 GTS. It does take the 6-pin power right there. So yeah, I'm going to be installing that, and then we'll see how that works. Be right back.